On this episode, we discuss Exit to Eden.
In honor of the Max Fun Drive, I torture my friends with a movie I haven't seen before.
You son of a bitch. Hey, everyone, and welcome to the Flophouse. I'm Dan McCoy.
I'm Stuart Wellington.
And I'm good sound Elliot Kalin. And we're all in the same room.
We're all in
for
the
Max
same
Fun
room,
Drive.
but shut up. We can't talk about that right now.
Sorry.
It's Max Fun Drive time. Right at the top of the show, I want to say something. Thank you.
I do know.
Thank you for listening.
Shut up, idiots. Let me start. Thank you from the bottom of
From
our
the
hearts.
bottom of my heart, thank you. Max Fun Drive starts this Monday, April 20th, 420. Woo! Charlene's birthday. Woo!
Don't get distracted, Dan. Max Fun Drive.
It's the time of year when we celebrate you, the listeners, and we also remind you that this show exists because good folk like you tip us for the laughs and insights and heartwarming goo we provide by pledging $5 a month or more. So head to MaximumFun.org/join to learn more and support the Flophouse. I'll be back with more on that later. But now we can do the niceties. Elliot's here.
Yeah,
in my
hey,
apartment.
I'm in person in Dan's apartment. It's never looked nicer.
Oh, thank you.
That's a compliment that is very backhanded.
yeah, I had
It
to think
implies
about
that
it a
your
little.
apartment used to look like shit. But now it looks pretty good.
We're also
It's always been a nice apartment.
to get the video that we use for our social media stuff. Usually, we're on a Zoom because we're recording to Elliot in LA, and now we just have to record ourselves, and so we're looking at a mirror image of ourselves right now, all three in a row, which is very disconcerting.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things is that in the modern world of podcasting, it's relatively inexpensive and easy to get very professional looking video. And we staunchly oppose
Still
that.
won't do
apparently.
it. Still won't do it.
No, thank
what
you.
What is nice, though, is that the image is reversed. So when I look at it, I see Stuart's face instead of my own.
Whereas I have to stare right down the barrel of myself because I'm in the middle.
What I keep thinking when I look at it is, one of these ghouls will go home with you at the end of the ride.
Yeah.
Guys, I do therapy via Zoom, and
Cool. What does this have to do with what we're
Well,
talking about?
I have to minimize the window that's me because I
Oh.
don't want to look at myself while
My
I'm-
therapist makes me minimize the
really?
image of me, yeah. No, he hides self-view.
My therapist makes me maximize the image of me
Uh-huh.
for
You
maximum
gotta see
shame.
your pores.
Exactly, yeah.
Anyway, we're doing our show. It's called The Flophouse.
Oh, what do we do
it's-
on this show?
Well, it's a podcast where we watch movies that were critical or commercial flops.
But today you said we're talking about Exit to Eden, Best Picture winning Boffo
Best
box office.
Winner of 1994.
It's a movie that I have mentioned to two people that we were going to do, and both of them had a blank look on their face.
Everyone
immediately,
I've talked to about this movie has said, "What is that?" Which I think is so funny because it is a movie that, when it came out, even as a child, I was like, "Why did they make this movie?" When I saw
Yeah.
the commercials, made a huge impression on me.
It loomed large in bad moviedom.
It introduced me to what I would call '90s erotic soundtrack music, which is when there's drums. There's drums that are like dun 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 dun, and then you hear a flute that goes ooh.
Is that the my wife and I were watching this movie, and when I think
Did
that
it
is
get you guys going?
totally. And I think that specific
Danny
music
Aykroyd.
is from an artist named Enigma.
Oh yeah, sure.
And Charlene's like, this music was so popular in strip
They play
clubs.
Return to Innocence in it, and I know it from the commercials for the Pure Mood CD.
Is that the one that goes, sadness?
Yeah, it's the one that goes,
Do-do.
it goes, hey, hey, Return to Innocence. Yeah. So that was a hit song if you were listening to the Pure Mood CD. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a
Which
little
also
bit
included
about.
Tubular Bells from The Exorcist.
I think before we get into Exit to Eden, I don't want to step on your turf, Stuart, because I know that this is a movie that you chose to inflict upon us for Max Fun Drive. I suppose we should reiterate this. We have been picking movies, this is going to be the first one. We have picked movies to torture one another with. This was Stuart's pick, which he had not seen, but
I had not seen.
But this movie has an interesting backstory too that maybe we should set up beforehand. I don't know.
Yeah, well, my backstory for picking it, which I think is an important point, is that I hadn't seen it. And when I was a kid, I was like, this looks fascinating. But it also was definitely too adult for, 14-year-old Stuart, I was strictly in the PG territory, everybody. You're saying 14. PG-13 would be okay. Not for this guy. But then, like, I heard that it was bad. And I'm like, but I like Rosie O'Donnell and Dan Aykroyd.
Well, that's the thing. I'm 2 years older, so I was 16 when this came out, and I saw it in the theater. Now, you might say, this is an R-rated movie,
boy,
Dan.
I sure felt bad that I saw it on HBO. But
you shouldn't have gone to see it in the theater. You were a year too young. Back in those days, no one cared.
Did you go by yourself, just in a trench coat with a paper bag full of smut with you, or did your parents take you?
So my pal,
your parents were like, we don't want to have the talk with you. Oh, good, this movie's coming out. Exit Eden. This will teach you everything you need to know. Yeah. We're going to drop you off at the theater. Then we're going to pick you up. We will not look at each other's eyes when we pick you up. Then we will never talk about it again.
And based on
you'll be a man.
Dan's apparently reported fetishes. This movie actually touches on some of them.
Dan's fetishes of incredibly vanilla light taps to the tush.
Reporting me, reporting my fetishes. No,
it's anonymous, but somebody is. Yeah.
If my parents are listening, this will be the first they're hearing of me having seen Exit to Eden. I believe I saw this. On
a school trip.
My childhood pal, still pal, Rusty Householder.
Sure, yeah.
You've met him. If he's listening, maybe he can confirm or deny this, but I believe that we saw this together. We went out and we saw.
Oh, wow.
As what, like a pact? Like one of these, we're going to do the worst thing we can.
I don't know what his reason was. I think that my reason, in addition to liking Dan Aykroyd, was I had a crush on Dana Delaney.
Sure, who wouldn't?
I also have to point out that this was back in 1994, and entertainment options were far more limited back then. Ellie.
That's true.
Pick up your phone and just watch any movie.
Especially in the middle of Illinois amongst the cornfields.
I'm
it was
kind
this
of
or
amazed
nothing.
that Exit Eden came to the local theater in Eureka, Illinois. Amazing.
There's no theater. Oh, no. At least not by the time I was around.
So where did you see this? Like in someone's garage?
I would have gone to Washington to see this, or perhaps Peoria, the two more metropolitan areas.
So I don't know if we've ever talked about this on the show. We may have. I find it hilarious that Dan's idea growing up of like a big city was Peoria, the city that is Hollywood slang for the sticks, like
backwater.
the backwater.
Richard Pryor was brought up there, though.
But he didn't stay there.
No,
and I'm assuming that
as did I.
So you're like a modern day Richard Pryor in that way.
I didn't say it. You did.
That metropolitan multiplex, I'm sure, was populated almost exclusively with people that dressed like the neighbor couple in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, for sure.
The comedically yuppie couple.
Well, I'm glad we got into our...
Who are cool. They're cool.
They're the heroes of that movie as far as I'm concerned. But
there are no heroes in that movie.
We've gotten into our personal history, but I was more thinking of the fact
the behind-the-scenes history.
This was based on an erotic novel by Anne Rice under, what was her?
Anne Rampling.
Anne Rampling was what she wrote it under.
Because she was collaborating with Charlotte Rampling on it,
yeah. And because, her works are ramping up your boners.
Ramp that thing up.
That's what they say at strip clubs when the dancers are about to come out. Gentlemen, ramp up your boners.
Ramp up your boners. Here's Jade.
The movie Jade. We're going to show it.
Set up the screen. And maybe don't ramp up your boners yet. You got to set up the screen.
So watch some of
HDMI 1. HDMI 1.
Guys, come on. Input. Press the input button. You know what? Don't ramp your boners yet. I don't want you to waste anything.
Yeah. So
turn motion smoothing on.
But the Anne Rice
the
novel.
The smoother the better.
The Anne Rice novel
Here at Smoothers, the strip club that just shows you movies with the motion smoothing on.
Mm-hmm.
So nasty.
And that smooths down your boner.
We want it to look like kind of in-store security camera video. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
there should be no weight or heft to any objects in the movie. It's just be super smooth, super fast. Yeah.
Now, I have not
ramp up your boners.
I have not read this novel, but it's my understanding that is a straightforward BDSM erotic.
My understanding from reading the Wikipedia entry
is
that it is about a mistress on a sex island who falls in love with a guy there, and she has to choose between her profession of being a mistress or giving herself up to this guy, and that none of the story of jewel thieves being chased by undercover cops, which is so prominent in the film, No, that is
that
in the
was
novel.
when
Arguably the narrative thrust.
Yeah.
the sexiest director in
No pun
Hollywood.
intended.
The sexiest director in Hollywood, Gary Marshall, got his hands on this, and I believe he added all of the crime stuff, the goofy crime stuff.
To be fair to Gary Marshall, who at this point, is probably best known for his holiday movies, and perhaps as being the creator of Happy Days, which is not a holiday Happy Day, but it is a
It's a day still.
It's a day.
Yeah.
Now I think this was just right after Pretty Woman.
Yes.
Which is pretty sexy material for him. It's about a call girl, and so I feel like he was like, how do I ramp it up?
But
maybe this is what I do now. Is I make sex comedies.
It is a famously sanitized version of sex work.
Even a sanitized version of the original script for the movie. But that was my understanding from what we're reading was that Rosie O'Donnell kind of didn't want to do the movie. And her representation was like, this guy just did Pretty Woman. This movie's going to be a huge hit. You've got to do it. But I think.
And was she coming off A League of Their Own, or?
Probably.
Okay.
I think that checks out about right. Yeah, but I think Gary Marshall was probably like, you know what? I was too tame in Pretty Woman. Time for me to get a little wild. But then he ended with exiting the tamest movie about BDSM that I can imagine.
The light spankings and the weird.
It's like if Secretary was mostly about actual office work. That's what this feels like. Yeah.
Yeah. The main way that this is a sex movie is there are a lot of just random boobs running around.
Yeah.
Attached to people.
I mean, I think a lot. I would say that's being a little generous.
There are a lot compared to a modern day non-sexy movie.
That's true.
Like
compared to movies from the 80s or 90s, though, it is what's known as SBQ or standard boob quotient.
Dana Delaney, our romantic lead, is naked a few times. He gets a few sex scenes, and then there's just a lot of people in the background on Sex Island, like wandering around with.
That's the Mr. Skin Report with Dan McCoy.
I'm just defending my
your
assertion.
earlier assertion. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, like all sexy movies, this one begins in Melbourne, Australia,
with a child and a maid. Yeah.
Where a child and I'm going to say slightly provocatively dressed maid.
I would say she's wearing a very low cut outfit.
Yeah.
Sure.
He gets in trouble and she gives him a spanking, which initially you think is a punishment, but you see on his face he likes it.
And you can also, this is what tells you it's a movie of the time, because it needs to explain the idea that someone might enjoy being spanked in an erotic way. Like, there's the audience has to be set up for this. It just can't be like a thing that he likes. We have to have
there must be an
reason.
origin story.
Yeah.
There's got to be the moment when he was bitten by a radioactive spank.
I mean, I think like most movies nowadays would also do the same thing.
I'm not sure.
You got to give everyone
that.
an arc for their butt.
I mean, they have to give them an arc, but I think
for their butt.
The movie is so of its time in that, the idea of any sort of non-missionary sex play is considered so outre and so out of the ordinary and shocking that they have to provide an origin story for him to enjoy this aspect.
So much the movie is people explaining sex to Rosie O'Donnell and Dan Aykroyd and then being like, what? People do that?
And it falls into the category of, it is a movie that for its time seems like a liberal progressive movie, because the people involved in this stuff are not every now and then like, yeah, well, maybe it's okay for people to just like whatever they like. But the Dan Aykroyd and Rosie O'Donnell characters are they're so ugh, what is this? Ugh. And by the end of it, Rosie O'Donnell's like, you know what? Maybe sex is okay.
Yeah, and Dan Aykroyd gets a vibrator for his ex-wife, maybe.
Yeah, he gets
wife,
played by his real wife,
Donna Dixon.
Yeah,
he gets
married.
a big ass Hitachi wand. He's not playing
jumping
around.
right in the deep end.
Yeah, but
he's a blaster bean, right, guys?
It's like the movie is clearly on the side of people.
Is that an Atari game?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Blaster Bean. Get me to the end of the maze.
That was a mini game in Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah. I feel like that's the video game that a grandma gets for their kid, not realizing what's actually going on in it.
No.
Clearly, the movie is on the side of people should be able to do what they like if they're not hurting somebody else. But to get there, they have to express such bizarre. What's it called? Bizarre shock at what's happening.
Yeah.
That it comes off as
like
the
a certain amount of lazy disdain and shtick.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get into it. So, as we said,
it starts in Melbourne with the origin story.
Starts in Melbourne, and then 20 years later, we meet up with what we assume to be that same young boy.
It'd be amazing if it was not the same character.
He's from Strictly Ballroom, and he confusingly the actor shares a name with an old coworker of ours.
Yeah, he does. And he also shares a character name with me.
Yeah.
So the character is named Elliot.
So
he shares a name with someone we used to work with. And he's been an Australian legislator for a number of years now. He's a member of the Australian Parliament. Yeah.
And as we'll later learn, totally caked up.
That's what Dana Delaney likes
Dragging
about him.
a wagon. And his character's name is Elliot. It's Elliot Slater. I will refer to him exclusively as Elliot, just to confuse everyone with the fact that we also have a co-host named Elliot. So Elliot here is talking to his therapist, played by, as listed in the credits, as usual, Hector Elizondo.
That's how you know it's a Gary Marshall movie, because Hector Elizondo is in it. But I love, he says, as usual, Hector Elizondo, as in like, he's coming, everybody.
This guy's got to be here.
Now, granted, when I saw that, I started pumping my fist in the air.
Yeah.
I will say, Hector Elizondo is the one character in it who I feel has genuine erotic intensity when he talks.
Yeah.
Not in a way that I like necessarily, but of all, especially compared to like Dana Delaney, who I think is great, but her performance in this never gets across the idea that she is in touch with her erotic passions.
She feels sort of like, like a mom. Yeah. A suburban mom who's,
which
read
in a way
read an Anne Rice book, maybe.
Yeah.
So we meet up with Elliot Slater. He's talking to his therapist, who has a specialization in sex and kink, played by Hector Elizondo. And they're talking about how Elliot has had difficulty all his life maintaining a serious relationship, and it's clearly due to some kind of unadmitted kink
an
or
unslakable thirst.
Yes.
And it's kind of implied that when he tells people about this kink, they reject him. That they go, oh, that's outrageous. As we'll learn later on, it is being lightly tapped on the buttocks, which is, again, one of the easiest kinks I feel like to deal
like
with.
You can stumble into that pretty easily.
You can accidentally fulfill that kink by just being in a crowded store.
Yeah.
I mean, you see a butt, That's the first thing you think about, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Dan, this is one of those times where I feel like you assume that a feeling you have is a universal feeling. Yeah.
Mm.
Like he could just join like a baseball team or something, right?
That's true. Any sports team, yeah. He's going to get tapped on the butt at some
point. And I will point
point
out that this character is supposed to be, his character is from Melbourne and he lives in
Which
LA.
Which is ironic because this Elliot on this podcast is from Milburn.
That is
ironic.
That is ironic.
It is very
so everyone
ironic.
Add that to the show notes. That's the trivia section, please. So I was just going to say that his accent I find very interesting because it does sound like somebody with an Australian accent trying desperately not to have
My guess is that they told him dial it back because people will need to understand what you're saying and we don't trust them,
Okay, so we also learn when he's talking to his therapist that he has already submitted an application to go to this resort.
Sex Island, yeah.
This sex island that we'll later learn is called Eden.
Oh, right.
Where he will participate in this, that will theoretically help him with his therapy.
Yes.
But first he has to go on he's a photojournalist and he has to go on an assignment. And the movie picks up with him coming back, arriving at the San Diego airport? I'm not sure.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just laughing because I'm remembering the scene already. And I'm not laughing with delight at it. I'm laughing at how dumb things are in this scene. But
so he comes back from South America. This is where we have a scene where going through customs, they're specifically saying U.S. citizens that side, aliens on that side. And I'm like, that's a weird thing to say. I know that's technically correct, but I have not heard that in the wild.
It sets you up for the Men in Black sex movie that we don't get.
Yes.
Where humans are having sex with aliens. Where's that movie, huh? When are we cross that taboo?
I 100% think it exists, Elliot. At least in comic book form.
Yeah, but that's not a movie.
Flesh Gordon.
Well,
counts,
if you
I don't know.
flip the pages of that comic book really quickly, Elliot, it does kind of become a movie.
That's true. That's a good point.
Okay, so while he's at the airport,
I guess Possession is that movie where a person's having sex
about
with
to
an alien.
be remade. So
Is
we're going
it?
to, yeah.
Why?
Man.
That is like such a. It's so tied to like personal trauma and like a vision. Why would you? There's not like anything
Sam
in that
Neill's gonna
plot
star
where
in it
you're
again.
like,
Sam Neill's still going to be in it.
No, I don't remember. It's out there. You
Because
guys can look
everything's
it up.
going to get remade at some point.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Because that IP is so valuable to the audience out there. Like, oh my God.
So while
Dan, they made Train Dreams, which is based on a dream a train had. Like they'll make any movie nowadays.
That's amazing.
No,
we didn't know that trains dreamed before
it was
that.
just a dream about being on that one island that Thomas the Tank Engine is on. It's called Eden, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas the Stank Engine.
I guarantee you there's like fetish wear Thomas the Tank Engine art out there.
There must be. Well, the fetish is being narrated by the Thomas narrator while you do it. Yeah.
Okay, so while at the airport, Elliot...
The magic roundabout. That's for Dan.
Elliot inadvertently...
Oh, the Elliot in the movie. Yeah.
Takes photos of a pair of elusive diamond smugglers.
One of whom has never been photographed.
One of them, Omar, has never been photographed. The other one, Nina, played by Iman, has been photographed because she's a huge supermodel.
Yes, lots of pictures.
It is
she's
funny
married
that-
to a famous guy.
She is introduced dressed up in drag. And I'm like, you cannot, no amount of simple like wigs will disguise.
Even the mustache, even her fake mustache.
He also Elliot takes pictures of her while she's like sneezing, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And like,
which is weird.
It is
he's
weird.
Like, yeah, it's weird. And she's like, "Don't worry, I'm a photographer." But he's taking these pictures just sort of like. He's got his like camera down at his hip, just sort of like clicking off. He does not look
it
like
symbolizes a penis, Dan.
making good
But
photos.
then part of the diamond smuggling is a switch off that involves the baggage claim, and he's like leaning into the baggage area taking pictures. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, calm down, dude.
I will say this though, that
you love this movie.
yeah, it's great. Anyway, I don't remember what I was going to say. Let's go on. I had something and I forgot it.
So after this little bit of excitement, we now cut to a strip
And
club.
boy, is it exciting! I was on the edge
movie's
of my
not
seat.
gonna reach this fever pitch again for a
I had
while.
to pause the movie and catch my breath from the intensity of this scene.
It's like the end of the first 10 minutes of Fury Road. You're like, whoa, I need this break, everybody. Okay, so we now enter the dark lair of a strip club where there's a police sting operation going on where Dan Aykroyd, who plays Fred, and Rosie O'Donnell, who plays Sheila, are a pair of police officers who are undercover, and they are busting this diamond smuggling ring that is tied to Nina and Omar.
Yep.
So we get a little bit of stripping. It's a little sexy.
Well, and they're doing this by Aykroyd is the strip club DJ, and O'Donnell is a dancer who never, like she's just like sort of like half-heartedly dancing around, not taking her clothes off because that's not her job. She's like undercover cop.
Dan felt like he needed to warn anybody who was watching the movie in the hopes that they would see Rosie O'Donnell take her clothes off.
Yeah. But the point is just like, why do they have to be workers at the club? Why can't they be undercover as visitors to the club?
They need them to let down their guard, Dan.
Yeah, and also, I'll give them this. It's a comedy movie.
Sure.
So you want to put these characters in situations they're not comfortable with. But it by police logistic standards, you're right.
I think
those are not the roles you want them to be in. Where is she going to keep her gun when she's supposed to be stripping?
I mean, she pulls it out from her like feather boa.
Oh, that's right.
I think if I got any laughs out of it, I would take that explanation. But in the absence of laughs, I had a lot.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of there's a little bit of attempted humor in the process.
This should be shelved in the attempted comedy section at the video store.
There's a in the excitement. Nina, the smuggler, manages to shoot one of the guys that they're after. So some of this stuff is kind of confusing for me, and I watched it twice. Meanwhile, Elliot, he boards a boat to go to Eden with other people who have paid to volunteer, I guess.
And I assume he's paid also.
He is paid. As they mentioned that later on, his payment is refunded.
That's right.
But he is with a group of people who have paid to spend a week at Eden, and during that time, they are citizens of Eden, which is their term for submissives.
Yes.
But they do specify that while you're on Eden, everything is you still have to give consent.
Yeah,
yes.
It still has to be consensual. But they're told this by the Eden middle management, who are all dressed like members of ABBA or like lion tamers.
Yeah.
Like they all have like white. Bright white kind of circus costumes.
The sexiest outfits you can think of.
I must have missed this speech because I remember later on in the movie being like, wow, for a kink island with a kink resort, they are playing fast and loose with consent. Like Elliot doesn't want to go up on stage later on to like dance around and show his wares, and like, no, you got it. They're like literally like pushing him on stage, even though he's like saying no.
Oh no, I mean they give the speech and then they also go against those rules.
They ignore it entirely.
And they just boss. And I wonder, I think they do not set up, here's the thing, they don't set up safe words, or at least we don't see it, because him saying no could be part of that scenario for him, unless he says his safe word. And this is why everybody always have a safe word, and your safe word shouldn't be no, because then it gets confusing.
Establish boundaries.
Your safe word should be something like Dimetrodon that you normally wouldn't say during sex unless you do dinosaur.
Someone out there,
dinosaur-like. I'm sorry, Dimetrodons are not dinosaurs. I apologize, everybody. You know what? I tender my resignation. I can no longer really act as a Flophouse host after what I've done.
Oh, wow.
I've mislabeled a Dimetrodon as a dinosaur, and you know what? Due to public outcry, I will stay. I will resume my resignation.
Wow, yeah,
it's a real roller coaster.
Our long national nightmare is over. But anyway,
I was going to encourage someone out there, make Flophouse your safe word, just for fun. It would
Dan,
tickle
I don't know
me.
if this is such a good idea.
Tickle me.
This sounds like this seems like the best possible moment for Dan to give some more information on the Max Fun Drive.
Oh, thanks, Stuart. Yeah, sure.
What a little prankster.
Before we get back to the sexy Dan Aykroyd in handcuffs antics, let me tell you a little bit more about how the Max Fun Drive works and why listener support is important. How does it work? Let's start there. Go to MaximumFun.org. Pick the great shows you listen to, including, we hope, The Flophouse, and your pledge goes directly to the shows that you personally listen to and have chosen to support, with a little going to the network, which is a worker-owned collective, so you can feel very good about that, for overhead, and all the help they give us. And why is it important? I told you the how. Why? This money helps us pay our operating costs. It helps us pay our producer, Alex, who we're happy to give a raise to soon for some extra work we're going to be throwing at him.
The first he's heard of this.
I was like, I don't know if we need to promise this on the air.
I've talked to him.
Oh.
It helps us pay ourselves as the traditional entertainment industry falls to pieces around us. So if you're a first-time member, you can join at just $5 a month and get access to the full library of Max Fun.
Wait, $5? That seems ludicrously cheap for all the entertainment you're getting.
I know.
Have we gone insane?
And yet people will be confused by it even so. At $5 a month, you get access to the full library of Max Fun bonus content, hundreds and hundreds of hours across all the shows on the network. And this is a good time to say, what is the Flophouse going to do for bonus content this year?
Yeah.
I'm glad I asked me. This year, it's all about the Transformers. Now, no matter what, we are committed to watching and discussing the original animated Transformers.
Transformers the movie.
Transformers the movie from '86. Michael Bay's Transformers from 2007.
That's where a Transformer pees on John Turturro, right?
I don't know if it's in that one, but it's in one of them.
I mean, that's the promise that any Transformers movies makes.
And also the recent computer-animated Transformers 1 from 2024. Those three we're going to do no matter what. However, listen to this. If the Flophouse makes it to 1,600 new or upgrading members, we will record 2 more episodes covering Transformers Revenge of the Fallen and Transformers Dark of the Moon. And if we make it all the way to 2,000 new or upgrading members, that will unlock the gold mine of 4 additional episodes, Age of Extinction, which will be a rare Flophouse revisit, The Last Night, Bumblebee, and Rise of the Beast.
Yeah, Cogman.
You can have it all, at least if by all you mean Transformers movies. But that's just this year's bonus content. If you're a member at that level, you have access to all the old bonus content. Like last year when we did 6 role-playing episodes where Game Master Stu led me, Elliot, and Zubin in a pair of 3-episode Slock Tales arcs where we played hapless restaurant workers. So I'm starting to stumble over my own copy.
I will say,
apologize.
those Slop Tales episodes are my favorite bonus content we've ever done. I think that Stuart did a great job. He came with a great scenario and characters, and we had so much fun doing it. You know, he led us through a wonderful adventure.
I'm only as good as the collaborators I work with.
No, they're very fun and also fully produced by Alex with music and sound effects and stuff. Also, last year we released Flyscraper, which was a fully produced Theater of the Mind audio comedy from a script by
that
me.
was also my favorite bonus content.
It had notable friends of the pod like John Hodgman, Griffin Newman, Barbara Crampton, Josh Gondelman, Natalie Walker, Griffin McElroy, and more on that, and tons more bonus content from us going back years, all accessible at that $5 a month level. And I briefly want to mention that at the $10 a month level, you get, of course, a lovely Good Bad keychain, but also for the first time ever, listeners at the $10 or more level will get access to an ad-free feed. That's right. Entertainment without commercials, the dream of every consumer. We will still have Jumbotrons because those are Max Fun community announcements and our own personal plugs. So you'll still hear about Barbarian Behind Bars.
On store shelves now.
My wife's gym.
But
Jiggle Studio.
But that's the stuff that I think that listeners will still want to hear. There'll not be any more corporate sponsors at the $10 ad-free member feed. So that's a new thing that we're offering that I'm very excited about. And there are higher levels, of course, with other thank yous. But I'll just say for now, please join us as a member at $5 a month or more. Head to MaximumFun.org/join, where you can join monthly at $5 a month or more, or opt to pay upfront for a whole year of support. And then when your year's up, it'll revert to monthly unless you choose to pay upfront for another year. That is MaximumFun.org/join. And now back to Exit to Eden.
Force us to watch Transformers movies.
So while on board the boat to Eden, we see the other people who have signed up. They're all generally kind of youngish people, but we do get a good joke about an old man who boarded the wrong ship, thinking he was going to a golf fantasy island where he was going to play with Lee Trevino.
As everyone else is undressing. I will say this is when we introduced my favorite character in the movie, Reba, the multiple-time Eden attendee who cannot stop talking to people, even when important announcements are being given.
It's really funny, though, that every time she just, like, it's not like she's being really disruptive, but she's just talking a little bit, and one guy's like, shut up, Reba. And I'm like, Reba's a single mom who works too hard, and she loves her kids, and she'll never stop.
Oh, yeah, it's that Reba, huh?
Giving hands on Heart of a Fighter.
Loves Reba.
She's a survivor. Okay, so can you guys, and they arrive at the island, can you describe the island at all for our listeners, or do you want me to?
I mean, it's like a tropical island.
Resort.
It feels like a kind of regular resort, except people are wearing togas. And
they have to like paddle their own canoes to get to the island.
The
citizens do. And then they have to like wear chains.
For a second, I was like,
chains.
At other resorts, do you not usually paddle your own canoe if you go canoeing?
I mean, I would assume at a sex resort, the hope is that you don't have to paddle your own canoe.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
But there's a real divide between the citizens and what are the other customers called?
I think just guests.
Guests. And the citizens, when they show up, it's like they're dressed like they're humans in Planet of the Apes, and then except sexier, I guess,
and of course,
if that's possible.
Impossible.
All of the citizens are, in the military helping us fight bugs because, service.
That's the only way to become a citizen. It's military service in the world of Robert Heinlein and Starship Troopers. So then they go straight to the...
Thank you, Elliot, for bailing me out of that nowhere.
I knew where you were going with it. The citizens then have to put themselves on display one at a time for... It's not like an auction, but it's just that they're just showing off. And this is when I found the one really genuine, or one of the few really genuinely offensive moments in the movie. I don't know if you guys noticed when there's a person of color who's on display, they immediately cut to the one person of color who is a guest of the island. And I was like, what is this? Come on.
And all this, and this meat market sequence is overseen by the operator of the island, Mistress Lisa, played by Dana Delaney, who is kind of like an overseer figure.
She wears what I would call the Joel Schumacher Batman version of dominatrix mistress wear.
Mm-hmm. Not to get us into a weird area, but
we're talking about Exit to Eden. There's no way to not avoid it.
I do feel like having a non-person of color at an auction take a person of color would have its own set of problems. So maybe they should have thought this whole thing through.
I feel like there are larger issues with the movie that make this kind of thing almost inevitable. Because it is really... It's trying to get across, it feels like, the overall, this movie, and I think you're right, Dan, that's true. But then I'd say put people of color in other places in the scene, rather than just the one. But I think the movie is attempting to get across a very basic idea of dominant, submissive, erotic relationships, but in a way that is afraid of actually getting into what is hot about those relationships.
Gary Marshall can deal with.
Yes, exactly. It really does feel a lot like your grandma has decided to tell a dirty joke, but is when you walked into the room, and so has backpedaled and softened it so much that there's no longer a joke to it. You know?
Yeah, like this is the type of BDSM resort that like if you had to take your parents with you, it would be fine.
It would probably be fine.
It would be fine.
And there's like
you just hang out by the pool, guys.
There's mentions every now and then that like sex is happening, but mostly what we see is people just walking around scantily clad, or like people doing chores for each other, like this one guy is subservient to, he's been like assigned to Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah,
so he's
Tommy,
mostly,
you mean.
Tommy. So he's mostly like, can I get that for you? Like,
that was one of my
what
favorite,
if I sleep at the end of your bed?
One of my favorite bits of the movie was, her subservient and like how she's just sort of not interested in any of it, but is like sort of tickled that someone's doing things for her. She's like, oh, this is nice. And
she both like denies him, but is also like, it's kind of funny.
You're a
this
nice
guy's
guy,
around,
and spoiler, they end up dating at the end.
Yeah,
which was, I thought actually like maybe my brain had melted by the point, but I thought that was genuinely sweet.
No, that is kind of nice. Yeah,
but it is funny too that like Rosie O'Donnell in this role, I have to say, like there is kind of like a meta joke that you can't help but bring to where you're like, yeah, she's not interested in any of these guys. Like they all keep trying, and she's like, yeah, this is cute. Go away.
Now, as you mentioned earlier, they have this kind of show-off runway show. Elliot does not want to take part in it at first, but then once they force him, he really hams it up, and he does something that I was confused by, where he like sticks out his belly really far, like to try to like he's not like he's kind of showing off his muscles or whatever.
Elliot,
like
and
then he's just like pushing his belly out like a bullfrog, like he's like, look, I'm a pregnant guy, and I like didn't understand what was supposed to be like sexy about that.
I think
The
various
audience
animals
loves it.
in the wild, Elliot, perform kind of strange mating rituals.
That's true. It's a display.
It's
a
like, look
courtship
how
display.
flat my belly is. This is the most I can get it out. Because I'll tell you something, Elliot. I could get my belly way further out than.
No, I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, their tongues would have been on the ground if Danny Boy McCoy was up there.
And now he is being very disruptive, but Mistress Lisa, she can't help but be a little tickled by it, right?
Can't help but get a little smile. Okay, meanwhile, back on the mainland, guys, Omar and Nina have been tracking Elliot, and they tossed his apartment. They're trying to find the only photo of Omar in existence.
Mm-hmm.
And they're unable to find it in his apartment, so they track him to the dock.
This guy, he wants the person that Thomas Pynchon relies on to get rid of his photos.
And this guy, and Omar is kind of like a C-grade David Warner type.
That's a good way to describe it. Yeah.
So they track where Elliot's going. So Nina and Omar, they pose as guests of the resort so they can get Elliot and get that photo back. Meanwhile, Fred and Sheila deduce that there is also this photo floating around of Omar, and they track Elliot. They find out where he's going, and they're like, the only option here, we go undercover and we use the honeypot of Elliot to trap Omar and Nina. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they have to brush up on their BDSM knowledge first.
Yeah, so we get some, funny stuff of Dan Aykroyd putting on a gimp suit.
But again, I mean, clearly the comedic elements of Rosie O'Donnell and Dan Aykroyd, though I would say misguided and misplaced, I don't think they're bad in it.
I think they're doing what they need to do with bad material. They are talented comedic actors.
I think Dan Aykroyd and Rosie O'Donnell both come out well from this movie. I think they are the best things in it, but it's a bad movie,
It's like a weird fit. And the whole, there's moments where Rosie O'Donnell does some like narration, like she's like,
meanwhile, we went to the island to figure out what was going on with so-and-so.
The craziest case of my career, and she's an old-timey gumshoe, right?
I couldn't, from looking into it, I couldn't find like particular information of like, reshoots, rewrites, whatever it is. But like this really feels like the sort of narration that you stick in. We're like, okay, we need to cover up all the editing we did trying to save this movie, trying to like make it shorter and like only have the stuff.
What if it's like Blade Runner and the director's cut is a masterpiece?
Yeah. Could be.
To me, although that's my hot take on Blade Runner, I kind of like the original cut more than the director's cut.
I like the narration.
I think it hurts that I have no idea what the hell is going on in the director's cut.
Yeah, it's like a noir movie. It's perfectly it like makes sense for there to be narration in there.
Well, this is kind of a noir movie, Exit to Eden, right?
Yeah.
So, her narration is very Dragnet styled, which is funny since Aykroyd
like
was
Thursday
in
morning.
Drag Boy.
We went over here. We did this thing. time to find out.
So back
Friday
on the
morning,
island,
had
Elliot
breakfast.
and Sheila and Fred they go undercover. In this case, Sheila goes undercover as a guest of the island. Fred goes undercover as a maintenance man, and they of course have to meet with Hector Elizondo first to get snuck onto the island or something.
Yeah, I think they can't. I think they can't go without his permission or something, or they don't want to pay.
And
for
we get
it.
a little bit of extra like Hector Elizondo, so I'm not mad about that.
Yeah,
So
Hector Elizondo. It's like I feel like the vibe I'm getting from him is a Bond villain's younger brother who didn't go into the Bond villain business, but instead was like, I still want to do something a little outre.
Well,
or like a salon owner, or
it reminds me of what you said before. Like he does weirdly have more erotic intensity than anyone else in the movie, but I don't want that out of him. Like, just because I'm so used to him playing a certain type of character, mostly in Gary and Marshall movies, so it feels very strange. It feels like if your jolly uncle suddenly got really.
I mean, Dan, your jolly uncle has sexual drives too.
No, I know.
Hector Elizondo's character looks like he would go to the performance art pieces that Willem Dafoe's girlfriend in To Live and Die in L.A.
Oh,
puts
sure.
on.
And he'd go, very nice, very nice.
With his button-down shirt buttoned all the way to the top, no collar.
No, yeah,
not a collar in
no
sight.
collar, no tie, nothing. Yeah.
Okay, so Elliot is initially resistant to the rules of Eden, and that puts him on like a weird work detail where he's like running around in a thong, like going under waterfalls and carrying stuff around, but he still manages to keep catching the eye of Mistress Lisa as she like goes from seminars to teach women how to dirty talk to other like nude sculpture things.
And I mean, maybe you'll get into this later on, but there's like a weird seminar that's like, to me, it really reminded me of nothing more than going to like one of Elliot's favorite places, the Natural History Museum.
Oh, that is one of my favorite places.
Where they like walk past all these like essentially like
that
living
was very-
human dioramas of like, these are sexual fantasies you could have.
Their sexual fantasy showroom.
Yeah.
What do I have to do to put you in a sex in the elevator today?
But they're also like extremely simple fantasies. Again, it's just like some people like the idea of having sex with their boss. And it's like, okay, great. Tell
Not
me.
just
But
having
in this
sex with your
case,
boss.
the boss is the one being dominated.
Exactly. The secretary dominates the boss. And one is like, sex with a stranger. You never even knew his name, that kind of stuff. But there's like a woman with a clipboard who's walking from scene to scene, and they're all like, oh, yes. Oh. And even the seminars are more like consciousness raising groups,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, I was like, tell me, how do you become a mistress? You go to mistress school? Wah, 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 wah. And she's like, let me tell you the
Penguin was
story
there.
of how he became a mistress. And it's like, it seems more like we're just going to get together and we're going to talk about, where we can, like, there's nothing
just
sexy
like,
about
like a book
it.
club.
It
And I
feels
feel
like a
like-
sexy book club. It feels, this movie is less erotic than book club.
And I mean, I'm surprised that there isn't like a scene where there's a seminar put on by like a sex toy manufacturer and they're just like, they're doing like Mary Kay Cosmetics.
What I'd love to see is, do you guys remember when Dick DiBartolo, Mad's maddest writer, used to go on like the Today Show or Good Morning America and show like new electronic gadgets that you can buy at Sharper Image or Hammacher Slimmer? Like that's what I wanted to see, but with sex toys, you know? Oh, Dan, you would have loved these segments. But like I want someone like that who's just like, then you got this thing. Look at what it does. Okay, boy. Now we move on to the next one. But they don't do that. Instead, it's all very like, it's very soft. It's very soft and kind of like easygoing. Because it is a vacation.
Yeah, so Lisa does take an interest in Elliot and she tries to break down some of his walls. There's a scene where she makes him get down on all fours and then she sits on his back bare bottom.
Oh.
Oh, that's so sexy. So
She goes, I'll let you feel what you wanted to see.
Yeah.
which is it's just a funny way to put Dana Delaney, I think, has a lot of trouble, and I like her a lot. She has a lot of trouble saying the dialogue that is supposed to be mistress dialogue. I think mainly because it's not very well written.
Yes.
But it's hard to do it and feel like it's not silly. And I think the main thing about that character is she has to be like, shouldn't come off as silly, but it's hard not to. In this movie.
Our villains and our cops have also entered the island. It's very funny to me that Amon's character Nina is like undercover and she's like the most striking. She's wearing the most extreme outfits.
She is going out of her way
like she's
to
like
be
walking
noticed.
off a fucking Mugler runway or something.
And she feels like that character should have been like Mistress Lisa. Like she feels like a Mistress Lisa
She would have
character.
been an incredible.
She would have been an incredible Mistress Lisa because she's like so naturally dominating and mean, and to see a character like that broken down by love, and struggling with it, like that's what Dana Delaney doesn't surprise me as a character who is falling in love, because she already seems very emotional, or not emotional. She seems very like not like there isn't a persona that she's putting forward.
This falls
very vulnerable. I guess she already seems vulnerable.
Falls victim to the 50 Shades disease a little bit, where it's like it seems to be like pathologizing the fact that she has any kinks. Like the idea seems to be that she's doing this because she can't love. She always wants to have control, and
it seems to be like her reaction to her mother's death. Is a need,
which we learn through some backstory that's prompted by Rosie O'Donnell's character.
But she still keeps in touch with her dad, right?
Like but he's like, that was a weird scene where, like, after her mom's death, her dad's like, okay, see you later.
I was like, what is this
movie?
What is this, Ella McKay? Exit to Ella. What would that movie have been like?
I mean, there'd be a lot more sex scarves.
Gosh darn it, I'm going to run the best, greatest sex island there ever has been. Don't you understand? We could be doing better for people's kinks.
So a lot of this stuff is...
Tooth tutors and tit tutors.
Rosie O'Donnell's character, Sheila, is basically going to places and, like, doing bits the whole time. Like, making jokes, asking, like, questions.
Which I think when I saw this in the theater at age 16, I'll be honest, I was probably mostly interested in like the nude scenes.
Probably.
And like the O'Donnell stuff annoyed me this time around. I'm like, this is what I love, is that she just like feels like she walked in from offset and is just like, I'm going to heckle this movie a little bit.
I think it helps her performance that it feels like she is like, what the hell is this movie? Like, what did I get into? Yeah.
And Dan Aykroyd's character is undercover as a maintenance man, and the whole time he's just working. And I think that's kind of funny. But I wish they played that up more. Where like they're like, "Hey, can you help me do this thing for the case?" Like, "Oh man, they got me working all day.
Yeah,
I like clean out the fucking cum traps in the jacuzzi."
And one of the things that Dan Aykroyd does better than any other performer, maybe in history, is say technical specs and like very specific information in a funny, articulate way. So I wish there was more of that kind of stuff. But he's talking about whatever equipment they're using at the island and things like that.
But I also like the idea that's introduced a little later that he has been turning heads around the island. Like people are intrigued by this maintenance guy.
I don't like this because it's unprofessional. He has to get a physical from the island doctor, and when she tests him for hernia, she makes a comment about how big his penis is, and from that point on, everyone on the island is calling him Big Boy. And I'm like, that's unprofessional.
No, that part's
the doctor told everyone the new maintenance guy is a
up
big
until
dick.
that point, that doctor had been the pinnacle, the paragon of the Hippocratic Oath.
But I do feel like something comedically could have been done more with that.
Yes.
I was like, he's like
the Hippocratic Oath,
uninterested in it, and takes the job as the maintenance person because he's so uninterested in all the sex stuff. But everyone is chasing him,
and he has like a couple moments where he's like narrating into a tape recorder about the psychological effect it's having on him to be like surrounded by sex, and like all that stuff. Yeah, could have been funnier if they made more. Like if the movie was about him, like they could have done more with that character and made it funnier. Yeah.
Okay, so
the idea of everyone is trying to have sex with him. He's like, I'm a cop. I just have a job to do. And they're like, yeah, I like that fantasy. Let's keep going with it. Yeah. No, you don't understand. It's real. But that scene doesn't happen.
Yeah, so like there's some bits. Sheila befriends her sub, Tommy, who's like doting on her and trying to suck her toes and also do nice things for her.
I'm just going to briefly mention that Tommy's Subs is definitely a place in New Jersey.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And everyone, like all these characters are all trying to get Elliot alone, but it's hard because he's on a work detail or Mistress Lisa has this guy running all over the place.
I know something about Elliot. He works too hard.
This is one of the few times where it's the Melbourne thing, and also that Elliot is just working too hard. He has too many jobs. Yeah.
We learn Lisa's backstory. There's some dead mom trauma coupled with like a little bit of stuff about her like learning on how to be a sub and also how to be a dominant from Hector Elizondo.
As she says, the best submissives become the best dominants. Which is that true?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not deep enough in that culture, but I mean, I guess it's possible. Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Elliot, for some reason, when you said that really reminded me of the Chris Farley show when he's like talking to Paul McCartney. He's like, you said, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. And he's like, yeah, I did, Chris. Is that true?
Okay, so this is where we have a pivotal, almost climactic scene between Elliot and Mistress Lisa, where he first helps her bathe. And then
This is one of the funniest cliches of erotic movies, which is the man shaving the woman's legs, which seems to be one of the least sexy things that you could
Except
do.
for in Cabin Fever.
I'll be honest, I would be terrified that I would, cut the woman.
I don't like
want
shaving
to do
my
that.
own face with a safety razor.
You guys aren't into knife play? That's fucking weird.
Not something I'm into, yeah.
Okay, well,
But you see this in
you don't
many
put on a
erotic movies.
scream mask and participate in knife play. You guys are fucking weird.
I guess I'm a real Dan Aykroyd. I'm too uptight.
Yeah. You do have the same first name.
True.
True.
Huh.
Okay, so this is the scene where Elliot allows
A real
himself to
Dan
be.
Aykroyd, he gets high on you. He doesn't do the selfies.
He allows himself to be chained up in the middle of the room, stripped naked.
Not chains, those are ropes.
Okay.
Puts
Important.
puts an eye mask over his eyes,
In case he wants to sleep.
and then Mistress Lisa begins lightly paddling his buttocks with a hairbrush, which he immediately is resistant to. He keeps saying no, 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 and I'm like, okay, guys, maybe stop.
Yeah.
But,
And Dana Delaney, by the way, she talks about how much she likes butts, and I'm like, same girl.
yeah,
Dan
You and
felt
me.
really seen.
can't
yeah.
have Dana without a Dan in there.
Yeah.
I will say this is the one moment that there's only one line in this that feels real to me. And it's when she says, I give you permission to like this, which feels like it is the
Yeah.
therapy that he needs. And it was like, oh, movie, if you had followed that thought,
Yeah.
that what she is doing is not awakening something in him that he doesn't know about or whatever, but that this situation gives him permission to admit what he likes, which is kind of what they're getting at. But I feel like they don't hit it
ultimately-
hard enough, you know?
Ultimately, in story like BDSM stories, that is kind of like the keystone is the
Yes.
idea of being able to learning how to admit what you actually want.
Yeah. To accept your own desires.
Yeah. Wow, that I feel like we should throw an Enigma soundtrack underneath. Okay, so shortly after, there's a lot of like everybody's trying to get Elliot alone, and then there's this high stakes.
me about
There's
it.
this high stakes rollerblade race.
This is when I feel like the movie ran out of things to do. They're just like, I don't know, there's a rollerblade
And
race.
now we learned that we had already learned that Elliot is an accomplished roller skater
Mm-hmm.
because his submission video for the island involved him on roller skates.
That's just good screenwriting. This is good screenwriting.
Which I'm like, hell yeah, this guy knows
choose
his
me from
greatest
your-
asset.
Choose me for your sex island.
Like, your audition video should include raw, vulnerable sexual appeal. And also, what are your special skills? Do you have any tricks?
Talents for a talent show.
Okay, so Elliot wins the race.
You know, there's
and
one
that's-
guy who submitted his sex application video who does impressions.
Yes. little
After-
stand up.
After winning the race, Elliot starts getting some attention from a woman, and that makes Mistress Lisa jealous.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of claims him for herself, and it causes a little bit of a hullabaloo. And it also makes her look lesser in the eyes of her coworkers.
Yeah, but it saves him from Omar.
Yeah, it saves him from getting blasted by Omar. Meanwhile,
Now, when you say blasted,
Omar is the evil diamond smuggler, so he would most likely kill him.
oh, okay.
Not Omar from the Wire.
No,
Who did
no.
blast a
Also
lot of
would
people.
blast people.
You
but
always
probably
know when
not
he's
him.
coming, though, because he whistles the farmer in the dell.
Okay, so at this point, this is where we get the montage where Sheila tries on like a BDSM, like a bondage fetish
leather
wear outfit,
outfit,
leather
yeah.
outfit. And she
She looks like a Lady Rob Halford.
she kind of steals Elliot away from Nina, who is dressed up kind of like one of the characters from the Persona 4 video game. And she
I'll take your word for it.
and then she's like leading him away, but before she can explain to Elliot what her real mission is, Mistress Lisa has Elliot taken away, and this is where we get the scene that was key to the trailer, where a guy says, "Let me, fulfill your fantasy," and she says, "Paint my house." Brings
Good
the house
line.
down. Everybody cracks up.
Except I learned from the Irishman that painting houses means you're a hitman.
My God. Oh.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's what he was doing?
You thought the Irishman was about a guy who paints houses.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got the Irishman mixed up with The War with Grandpa, a different Robert De Niro movie where he is a contractor who builds houses.
Yeah. Okay.
What if that was the same character?
What if?
After
I think it
years
would go
of being
a
a
little
mob
something.
hitman, he has to move in with his grandson.
I mean, the character from The Irishman dreams to have that close of a relationship with his family.
Yeah, that's true, considering it ends with him alone and his daughter never talking to him
honestly,
again.
that would make it a lot funnier if like this.
It
like,
would make
kid
The Irishman a lot funnier.
Sure, but also War with Grandpa. Like this kid is bedeviling this hitman.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, but no, I would love if The Irishman ended with the war with Grandpa.
Somebody's got to make that supercut. It's a 4.5-hour movie where The Irishman ends with him having to move in with his son.
5 years later, the War with Grandpa starts.
That's like, I remember once a friend of mine told me about how his friend had edited all 3 RoboCop movies into one movie. And I'm like, wow, what a feat. And I assumed that he had like interspersed the scenes. Really, he had just taken one movie and then put a title that said 5 years later and then played the second movie. And then it said like 2 years later and then played the third movie. Yeah, just cut the credits off. Not as big an achievement.
Not all. What was? Is it Will Wheaton who does that?
I think Topher Grace.
Topher Grace.
Didn't Topher Grace
style of
edit all the
example.
prequels into one movie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, that's what Topher Grace did?
I think
he
so.
put like 5 years later on...
No. He
didn't.
actually cut them together into a movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well. Okay, so at this point, Lisa realized that her relationship with Elliot is having a negative effect on her position on the island, which is very important to her core identity. So she has his stuff packed up. Unfortunately, that evidence, the roll of film that has Omar's picture, falls out of the bag. And she is sending Elliot away, and she's refunding his fee for being on the island.
She's making him sail away, sail away, sail away. Which I don't know if it was on the Pure Moods album, but it should have been.
I believe
I think maybe it was.
It was.
That was
Ornico Flow.
That was Young Elliot's
Flow.
Doing It playlist.
Yeah, that was Young. Yeah, Young Elliot definitely had a doing it playlist. Young Elliot was certainly doing it too.
doing it well.
Certainly a thing that Young. Then I also
That was on mine.
Yeah, and also This Is How We Do It.
Also on
that was
mine.
on there. Yeah.
You're doing it. CD was that monk chant CD that was briefly.
It was actually a Chipmunks chant CD.
It's the same chants, just higher.
Christmas time is here. That kind of stuff.
This'll get
As I
this'll
slowly
get it
undid
going.
my robe.
Yeah,
nothing-
your silk kimono falls to the floor.
Nothing sets the mood like
I just want a hula. Yeah.
an altered falsetto.
You show off your ceremonial katana.
Yeah, exactly. There was a lot of no knife play, but there was a lot of ninja play.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It was just you pretending to be different Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it would be like, who are you going to be with tonight, Raphael?
oh, a bad boy.
Do you want someone cool but rude or a party dude tonight?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
do you want
somebody would-
sensitive Donatello, or do you want dutiful, will make you come but won't enjoy it, Leonardo? Michelangelo, you don't know what you're going to get. Yeah. You're going to have fun doing it, though. You're going to have fun.
Maybe
yeah.
you'll have a great evening. Maybe he'll just forget you're there and eat some pizza for a while.
Either way, you're leaving with a story. So let me put on the music.
The music
Chipmunks
is the
music, yeah.
TMNT theme.
Yeah. But like a slow kind of like a Barry White version. Yeah.
Okay,
They're the world's most fearsome fighting team. Oh, yeah.
baby.
well, that's more like a melting
Heroes in a half shell, and they're green.
Okay, so Lisa tries to send Elliot away. Elliot stops her and he's like, look, I'm going to go to New Orleans. You should come with me. I'm going to go there no matter what.
I'm going to go and do the most touristy fucking things New Orleans can offer.
And
Rub a
she-
beignet on you.
she's resistant, but obviously there's a part of her that wants to do this. And
Her
she
vagina.
eventually decides to go with
That's the
him.
part.
So Elliot convinced Lisa to join him on his NOLA trip. Meanwhile, they've already left. And at this point, Sheila is trying to get some information on the hotel computer.
Wherever Eden is located, it is just a hop to New Orleans. It's
and San Diego.
And San Diego. It takes no time to get. You can take a boat from San Diego to get there, but it also takes you no time to get to Nolans. Yeah.
Nina then sneaks up and attacks Sheila. So we get a little bit of like a fetish wear fight between Amon and Rosie O'Donnell. Dan
Aykroyd
Aykroyd
walks
stumbles in and he's like, oh, I'm sorry for interrupting. I'll
They're
leave you
doing
alone,
the part of
ladies.
the fight that involves them thrusting their hips against each other, which doesn't make sense
Yeah.
as a fighting move. It's just a joke, everybody.
But she's, Amon is incapacitated, and they realize that Omar is already on his way to New Orleans, and he is going after Elliot and
Folks,
Lisa.
we are deep into Act 3 now.
So Omar tracks them down. They're having their like romantic touristy trip where they're just wandering around. They
go see the Jugglers on Bourbon Street. He buys her a croissant and then licks butter off her boobs. You know, that's
the most sensual way. And I'm like, a croissant already has a fuckload of butter in it, dude.
You don't have to butter a croissant.
That's gonna cause some farts, everybody.
And the funny thing is,
some farts.
is that the look on Dana Delaney's face as is lack of interest in anything but her breakfast.
Yeah.
Which I thought was, it's like they've been together for a day and already she seems to be over the magic of Elliot. Yeah. And I'll tell you this, movie, I've been there. Girls have gotten over the magic of Elliot very quickly.
Yeah. Okay, so Sheila and Fred also pursue Omar, Elliot, and Lisa. Elliot and Lisa go on a antebellum mansion tour. Where they find a secluded bedroom with one of those canopy beds, and they
a four-poster bed,
have a romantic tryst that is, I would say, like Diet Zalman King.
Yes, this whole movie feels very Zalman King.
By the way, if Zalman King had directed this, crazy time.
I feel like
crazy what?
Crazy time.
This certainly is Gary Marshall trying to channel his inner Zalman King, and it's more of an inner Alan King.
Oh.
Okay, so Omar strikes while they are cleaning up. He holds a silenced pistol to them, and he demands the film. There's a scuffle in the fight. He chucks Dana Delaney out of a window, which is kind of crazy.
That is crazy, yeah.
Yes.
Sheila then shoots Omar, but that's not enough. He almost takes her out before Fred shoots Omar, killing him in front of a whole bunch of people. They show their badges. They're like, don't worry, we're LAPD, which is a weird thing to do in New Orleans.
Well, they might think LA stands for Louisiana.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Yeah.
Also, like Aykroyd gives a speech that then sort of fades out towards the end, and Rosie O'Donnell's narration took over. I'm like, I wonder what didn't work here that they had to cover.
Okay.
This was an earlier time, though, when police officers shooting people in front of other people was considered just, good stuff. You know, just part of the line, just part of the job,
At this point, they, they're down at the police station in New Orleans. Lisa needs some time alone, and then she uses that time alone to sneak back to the island and leave Elliot. Meanwhile, Fred's ex-wife or wife shows up, and they rekindle their romance, which is, that's nice. Sheila tracks down Elliot, finds out that Lisa has left him, and she says, look, I have to go back to the island to get that film. Why don't you come with me? And he's like, okay. So they go back to the island. Elliot makes this big gesture, and he proposes marriage.
He shows up in her room, tied up again, like he was on that magic night when she briefly, slightly tapped his butt. But now he's wearing
a tuxedo. And he proposes to get married and explains all those things like, hey, we can still be who we are, just we'll be together.
Yeah.
Hooray.
It'll be in my vows that you can spank me. Yeah.
And then Sheila, as she's leaving, bumps into Tommy, who is her sub. And it turns out that he is actually a CEO that has businesses in multiple cities. And that one of those businesses is in LA, where she's a police officer. And that he would like to take her out to dinner, which she seems surprised by. And then they kiss. And then it turns out he actually has somebody paint her house. End of movie.
Oh.
Exit.
You did it.
Exiting to Eden.
Exit to Eden.
Guys, what a movie. What a picture.
What a picture.
It is.
Mostly how I remember it from when I saw it again in the theater.
It's funny because, again, I saw it, I think, on HBO when I was also around 14 or 15. And it's amazing which parts of it I was like, oh, yeah. Because if you had asked me about it, I would have remembered none of it. But there are parts where I was like, oh, yeah, I remember not understanding this at the time, and I still don't quite understand it. Yeah.
Yeah. What I remembered about it was basically Dana Delaney was hot, and the comedy didn't work.
And how do you feel about it now?
The same.
Oh, okay.
So nothing has changed in the intervening years.
None of your life experiences have been brought to bear on this in any way?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is
great works of art change over the years, and maybe lesser ones.
I would say that this is probably Final Judgment's time, Dan.
Oh, yeah, Final Judgments. Well, how does that go? It goes like this. Is this a good, bad movie, a bad movie, or a movie that we kind of like?
Now, we should make sure, do you think the movie wants to be called bad? Does he get pleasure out of that?
That's true.
Because I don't want to give the
right
movie
into
pleasure.
hands.
Exactly. Yeah. What is this? Is its kink being judged harshly?
It's hard to say. Here's the thing.
This is probably the time of the podcast where we should all talk about our own personal kinks.
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna
Giantess for Elliot, right?
What?
Giantess.
Giantess.
Just pick me up and put me in your pocket.
Or
Just treat me like a
or
little baby. Yeah.
A giant Tess of the Dobervilles.
I mean, I'm on the record. Reading Tess of the D'Urbervilles a few years ago was when it was that year was the most intense experience engaging with a work of art that I had the entire year. Great book, Tess of the D'Urbervilles. Highly recommend it.
Maybe I'll actually read it.
Super hot.
Okay.
Especially if she was bigger.
There's a reason they call him Thomas Hardy.
Okay.
Especially if he was bigger. Yeah, if it was called Giantess of the D'Urbervilles, I feel like she would have been able to get away with just stomping on people if she needed to.
Yeah. You know what?
Giantess.
I'm gonna go bad.
Guarding Giantess? Oh, yeah, bad? Oh,
I'm
interesting.
gonna go bad. Because it is pretty boring. You would think that this is like a.
So, Dan, this didn't shock or challenge you?
Well, you think that this was like this sex comedy / I guess BDSM drama would be 90 minutes long. No. It's almost 2 hours long, despite feeling totally chopped up. I almost would recommend it to people who are fans of bad movies to watch as a bad movie, just because it's so inexplicable. It is a very weird experience.
A lot of people had to make the decision to make this movie, and I want to read the book about the making of this movie. I'm more interested in the making of this movie at this point than I am in the making of Star Wars. Maybe because I know more about that already.
Yeah.
I want to know how this happened.
Yeah, but I found it a little too difficult to get through to go good, bad. And also, this is not a movie that is readily available. If you want to run out and watch it, it is not streaming anywhere. The DVD is out of print. We had to, we had
to break into the Gary Marshall archives, get his personal print.
Yeah, so I'm letting you off the hook by saying you don't have to try and watch it. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something kind of fascinating about how wrong-headed the whole thing is and how it does feel like movies that are kind of taped together. It is shockingly unsexy, which is impressive. So yeah, I'm going to say this is a bad movie. I'm not mad at it because I'm glad that I forced you guys to watch this movie, and I'm glad that I am able to fill in a gaping hole in my cinema knowledge.
Really, I'm going to say bad also. Yeah, more because it is a tepid movie more than anything else. It is neither
not hot.
It's not hot, but it's also it's not painfully offensive. It's not horribly bizarre. Instead, it's just why did they make this movie? Why did they make it? And then when making that decision, why did they do it so, for lack of a better word, vanilla?
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, the I'm sure there's a certain amount of offensiveness to the portrayal of kink culture, but I mean, it's so it feels like Grandpa doesn't understand sort of thing.
That's the thing. It feels like Grandpa doesn't. It doesn't feel like we're judging these people, and it also doesn't feel like let's get nasty. It feels like Grandpa doesn't understand. Yeah, and that Grandpa's name is Gary Marshall. But yeah,
a lovable guy, a lovable Grandpa.
It's like a bad movie that I am not unhappy is hard to find, because why would you watch it? But it's not so bad that I'm you got to see this thing. It is. I feel like my new benchmark for movies like that is the Ice Cube War of the Worlds, and it is. It's nowhere near it. You got to see that movie. It's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
You know what? This feels like a good time to talk a little bit about Max Fun Drive. I want to make the case.
Let's do it.
I want to make the case, listeners, for why listener-supported media is important. We are currently living in a time when the media landscape, quite frankly, sucks. Consolidation of big studios and networks and production companies is reducing the number and kinds of things that get made. AI is slopping its gross anti-human, anti-artist, anti-environmental shit all over everything. And the government is trying to turn everything into state-owned puppet media. So I don't want to put too much weight on our silly show about bad movies, but I do think that these days the model that we represent is more important than ever. Our podcast is artist-owned. We are under no pressure to do it a different way, and we're affiliated with Max Fun through a handshake deal. We could walk away and retain our show, but we're with them because we want to be there, and the portion of your membership money that goes to the network going to a worker-owned collective, where instead of all funneling to the top of some corporation, Max Fun employees share in the company's decision-making and its profits. And if you're going to do business, I think it's just about the most ethical, creator-friendly way to do it in this capitalist society. And unfortunately, in a capitalist society, one way to express your voice is to choose where your money goes. And I know that I personally am a lot happier with my monthly support of Max Fun than basically any other company you could go to. And you know what? It means more to us than it would to some fucking billionaire somewhere. So I know it's a hard time in the world. If your dollars need to go elsewhere, either as charitable giving or because your household needs to tighten its belt, believe me, I understand that. But if you have the means to, let's say, buy a fancy coffee once a month, consider supporting the shows you love, starting at just $5 a month at MaximumFun.org/join.
Max Fun Drive starts next week. Max Fun shows like this one are creator-owned. The network is worker-owned, and we're all supported by members just like you. Max Fun Drive is the best time to support the shows you love. You can get Drive exclusive gifts, a bunch of new bonus content, and join in on the fun as shows hit their milestones. Plus, we've got dozens of meetups and counting. We got live streams and more. So stay tuned because you don't want to miss it. Max Fun Drive 2026 is starting Monday, April 20th.
I'm Jordan Crucchiola, host of Feeling Seen, where every week I have a different actor, director, or writer as my co-host. And whoever that co-host may be, it is a sure bet that we are digging deep and having a great time doing it.
I love that you just said that.
Yeah, I mean, if I were going to join a cult, I think this might be it.
A fresh look at your favorite film and a peek behind the curtain at how movies get made.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna tell you this whole story.
Okay,
I almost got fired from that movie.
You should be listening to Feeling Seen.
I had so much fun. I love what you're doing.
I hope I did okay.
New episodes every week on Maximum Fun.
Let's move to letters from listeners. And I apologize.
Letters. From listeners.
Due
Letters.
to
Seduction.
due to some
Deception.
due to some technical difficulties, I cannot find the full letters, but I have the questions from the letters.
Technical difficulties.
Tactical difficulties.
Testicle difficulties.
No, the technical difficulties are within my own brain. I apologize to the writers of those letters, but I want to get their questions out there.
These questions are too important to hold back on.
Yeah. Here's one. Who would you want to interview you out of anyone living or dead from the last 100 years or so? Who would you want to interview you out of anyone living or dead from the last 100 years or so?
Now, do you think this is like a public interview or a private interview?
Like an interview with a vampire?
Yeah, I mean, that was
kind of both,
that was
right?
for public. It was, but I mean, like, are they interviewing us like on a TV show, or are they interviewing us like for therapy?
I presume it's for
Public consumption.
consumption.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And who would interview us? Because at first I misread this as who would you want to interview the last 100 years, and I'm like, I already did it. Robert Caro.
No,
and the
no,
99% Invisible Breakdown. The
Who
Power
would you
Brothers.
like? Who do you think would do a good job at interviewing you? I mean, like,
I'm so multifaceted. That's the issue.
True, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty. It feels like just like log rolling for the network, but I do love Jesse Thorne's interviews. I think he is a great interviewer, and I think that as someone who knows me a bit personally, he would be
Get
good
you out
for
of
the
your
task.
shell, right? Your
You know, he
turtle
would
shell.
know what to ask. I mean,
As someone who has been interviewed by Jesse Thorne on Bullseye, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, you are right, Dan.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been interviewed on Bullseye, but
but
I haven't accomplished anything of
you
note.
haven't, no. You haven't written a book about farming anything.
Without harming
Nope.
jokes. No, let alone jokes.
So I think of the late night talk show hosts, I think Seth Meyers and I would get along the best. You
Oh,
know,
I
he's
can
a
see that.
drinker,
Yeah.
but like in like a good way, not a bad way. Like
Like
somebody,
some other late night host.
yeah, like some other late night host. Yeah, that's
for
unnamed.
reasons of us not getting sued.
I think. So what you say more about Seth Meyers? Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he's got like a certain riz,
Yeah,
just
for
like
sure.
me.
Yeah, and I'd say Larry King because who knows what that guy's going to ask?
Oh man,
Does not know where he is.
I don't know what's going in it, what's coming out of that mouth, or what's going in his ears. So yeah,
there was a I can't remember who the interviewer was, but it was on like the Today Show where somebody was interviewing Anya Taylor-Joy, and they're like, "So you're going to be playing Joni Mitchell in a biopic. Now you're also playing Princess Peach. How are those two people similar?"
I saw this.
And the look on Anya Taylor-Joy's face where she's like, "Okay, this is go time. We got to figure this
gotta
out."
do this.
that's a good question.
Part of my job
That's
to
so
pretend like
funny.
this isn't wild. That you asked this
Pretend
question.
this isn't a stupid question.
She's like, "They're both singular."
Yeah.
No, that's a good answer.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe if we were interviewed by Anya Taylor-Joy, she could take some of that experience of.
I would, if
Oh,
Anya,
Jennifer Lawrence, my mistake. She's my favorite
she
interviewer.
was-
yeah.
Oh,
that was a great. You saw the Actors on Actors that she did.
Yes.
Yeah. She was like really like needling.
DiCaprio. Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah.
how do you see that? I haven't seen that. How do you see it?
YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I think it was for Variety or something,
Yeah.
and she was like specifically saying how great it was that he had a teenage daughter and how he looked so good having a teenage daughter. It's like you're online enough to know what you're doing, ma'am.
No, and it's like DiCaprio, like his expressions were just like his like eyes would like micro widen, and he's like, I don't know how to respond to any of this. I'm trying to maintain my like usual level of like enigma.
Enigma,
Yeah,
the artist behind Return to Innocence.
exactly.
Yeah. That's on his Doing It playlist that
Oh,
he
you
apparently
know it.
listens to while according to stories. Not to, okay,
But on headphones, right?
Yeah, on headphones. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that she would get good answers out of me because I'd be so discombobulated and thrown off. But it would be a great interview.
Yeah.
just for like
You'd enjoy it.
yeah.
The
Here's-
story,
Because,
you know.
because that's your kink, to be put on the spot by Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of.
Here's another question.
Oh, okay, sure.
Devoid of a letter. I apologize. Thank you for writing in.
So we have no context. So this
We could be answering this all wrong.
I looked all over. If I may have disappeared for the end part of Stuart's synopsis, it was because I was desperately trying to find the original letters.
Desperately
I apologize.
seeking Susan if Susan wrote this letter and asked this question.
Here we go. It goes like this. Elliot's book, Joke Farming, is available now.
Thank you for doing that plug for me.
Dan and Stuart, if you were to write a similarly titled book, what would you be farming? Elliot, what would you farm if not jokes?
I'll tell you right off the bat, chickens. All right, guys, what would you farm?
Like, here's the thing. Like, I was thinking about this, and I was like, am I very boring and limited?
Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole, guys? Am I boring and limited? Because I felt like what I think I could write a good book about is farming the like wheat among the chaff of like things that are considered bad movies, like the interesting stuff out there within stuff that's usually dismissed. Because there's other stuff I can do, like I do a lot of cooking, I do a lot of drawing, but I don't know if I can write a good book about those things. That's what I was thinking about.
I bet you could. It just takes the energy,
Yeah.
the motivation, the time, the discipline. So maybe you could. Just kidding.
Classic joke construct.
That's why I wrote the book.
Convincing yourself of something.
Yeah, I feel like I'd write a book about power brokers or some shit. JK.
Burn.
Let's give a
I don't
serious
understand. How is
answer.
that a burn?
Burn.
I don't understand.
Got burned.
How is that burn?
You'll understand when you
When I'm older.
read your own joke book. To give a serious answer, I
In
feel
the
like
form of insults, but I don't know what he's actually saying.
I feel like I could write a book about building a community within like a nerdy subculture, either through like a gaming hobby or something like that, or at a bar, because I'm kind of drawn to community building.
If they asked me, I could write a book.
Yeah.
Hey, let's move on. Why not?
Yeah,
Sure.
let's do
Two
it.
recommendations.
Sure.
Ooh.
Movies that we've seen and enjoyed. I'm going to give this is going to be a qualified recommendation.
Exit to Eden.
Rare for Dan.
A qualified recommendation. I saw this at a Weird Wednesday screening.
Citizen Kane.
It was a little movie called Pajama Party. And over the last several months, they've been screening one a month, the Beach Party series.
Oh, okay.
With Annette Funicello and Frankie Avalon. And this is sort of later into the series. Frankie Avalon has a cameo in it, but the male lead is actually Tommy Kirk in this one. It's Annette
the lesser
Funicello.
Frankie Avalon, yeah.
Yeah, and Tommy Kirk. But like I had been like my friend Kirby was like, I'm seeing these movies and I'm like, why?
I know this is not the case, but I'm imagining the pink ghost from the Nintendo games.
yeah.
I mean, is he a ghost?
What is he if he's not a ghost?
I mean, he's like a hunger spirit, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to see this and I was delighted by how like the jokes were so fast and dumb that it bordered on surrealism, and it felt honestly like it was a Zucker style parody movie, except they were parodying it's like there's no like straight genre of beach party movie that they're parodying. It's just like it feels like a parody for something that doesn't exist. The caveat that I mentioned before is Buster Keaton is in this movie.
I was going to ask if that was the one Buster Keaton.
He is playing
it's like a Native American
an indigenous character, yeah, and it is a 1960s version of a Native American character. It is
sensitive.
I would say it is not done with any overt malice, but it is certainly a cartoon stereotype.
I remember reading the book, The Films of Buster Keaton, and getting to this one.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but getting to this one and being like, wait, what?
There's one very funny scene he has that has nothing to do with him playing a Native character. But otherwise, I think if you chose to watch this, you could easily just fast forward through any scenes with him if it bothered you, because he is extraneous to the plot. But it is a very zany movie. It is a movie about Tommy Kirk is a Martian. He's like the advance man for an invasion, and Don Rickles is up on Mars, just heckling him.
That sounds pretty great.
And there's
Don Rickles. He normally doesn't heckle people.
Yeah. There's a wacky biker gang. Eventually, the titular pajama party happens, and Annette Funicello sings a song about there being a pajama party.
Love it.
It's just very silly, and
I feel like we are due for a parody of a beach party movie, right?
Back to the Beach, back in
when we were kids.
Due for it,
yeah, we're due for it.
I don't think anyone remembers.
I think if you did it now,
exist.
people would not know it was a parody, which might work in its favor. I don't know. They just think it was a weird movie. But I think, Dan, that it makes me sad to hear that you're like, this movie is hilarious, except for the scenes with one of the pure comic geniuses of film.
I know, poor guy. But it's a lot of funny, stupid gags, and also watching it, I'm like, oh, this is really the precursor to all of the more overt 80s sex comedies that eventually were made. This is the innocent, silly version of something like Hard Bodies.
Yeah, this. Screwballs, etc.
Anyway,
Miracle Beach.
Yeah.
Miracle Mile?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm going to recommend, I guess, let's call it a qualified recommendation. Not really. I'm going to recommend a movie that Dan and I recently hosted a screening of at the Nighthawk Cinema. We were lucky enough to host a screening invited by past guest Christina Cacioppo, part of her Ridiculous Sublime series.
If not the top movie programmer in America.
She's great. And her series, Ridiculous Sublime, is such a treat. If you live in New York and you have a chance to go see any of these movies, it's just like a fun time at the movies. It's always packed. People are super into it. It's really fun. And we got to host a screening of Swordfish from 2001, starring Hugh Jackman, John Travolta, Halle Berry, Don Cheadle, et al.
How'd they get him?
Is he Weird Al's brother?
This is a movie I had never seen, and so I didn't really have any context other than I remember the trailers being ridiculous, and it was that kind of new metal era of action movies.
Yeah,
and I was really excited to get to see it. That's the sort of thing that was so fun. It's so fun to see it on the big screen. I think Dan has mentioned, but as I get older, my window of nostalgia gets bigger, and it it like envelops things that at the time I did not like. I thought I was too good for.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, no, give me more of this. Can you make this sequence more stylized but harder to pay attention to?
Can you do a post-Matrix 360 bullet time explosion?
That
to open your
explosion,
movie?
like at the time, was like the most expensive effect they had ever done. And in the movie, it's kind of worthless.
Swordfish is the one, right, where he gives the talk about how Thomas Jefferson murdered a man,
Yes,
which
and
is
it's a
completely
lie.
made up. There's
Completely
not
made
even a
up.
legend it's referring to.
Yeah.
But there's a page on the Monticello website that addresses that rumor and says, no, this never happened.
So yeah, I think it was a lot of fun to host. It was fun to host with my buddy Dan, and I think it's like, I don't know if you have an affection for that like era of cinema, which I feel like I'm discovering I do have an affection for it. Check it out.
I mentioned that was false in our intro, which
And people booed
led to
Dan.
it led to a big laugh when that moment came in the thing. And I also, Elliot, I mentioned that, of course, at the Daily Show, that was one of the top like meeting ending videos that we would
was him
watch.
hacking? Yeah.
Was Hugh Jackman doing hacking in
That
Swordfish.
sequence is so great.
It's so funny. Yeah.
He is like one step away from like an Elton John impersonator playing like the piano standing up.
I think I'm gonna recommend a goofy movie. Then it's called a goofy movie. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, God.
I recently
Keep teasing the audience.
We need to do Goofy movie.
we need to do Goofy movie at some point. We just keep edging the audience the promises of Goofy movie. Your mention of Zucker Abrams movies, Dan, reminded me of a movie I finally got to see recently, which is the new Naked Gun movie starring Liam Neeson, which I really enjoyed a lot. And I was like, this movie pulls off being a Naked Gun movie, and it was just very refreshing to see a comedy where it was just like, shovel in the jokes, shovel in more jokes. You got to pay attention if you're going to catch all the jokes. And I thought it was really funny. As even the original Naked Gun movies do, I kind of got worn out by the end of it because I don't care what's happening.
It's such a perfect deployment of Danny Houston.
Yeah,
He is
Danny
so
Houston is
great.
so good in it.
His
He's
line
so funny.
about his tummy hurts is so fucking funny.
He's so funny, and Pam Anderson is so funny.
Pam
And
Anderson
the part
is
where she
so
is
funny.
jazz, like doing jazz scatting,
love
is
that
so funny. And so it was one of the few comedies I've seen recently where I was like laughing out loud throughout. So I thought they just did a great job of pulling off a Naked Gun style movie instead of doing a like half-assed kind of like referential version of one. So hats off to the makers of the Naked Gun movie. If you like those kinds of movies, you'll enjoy this.
Well, that's the great recommendations. And before we wrap up, by now you've heard all of the reasons to become a Max Fun member and support our show. So please, if you are considering doing so, do it now before you forget. I have ADHD, so I know all about forgetting. My brain does not work. I go into rooms. I'm like, why am I in this room? I've forgotten.
That's like a thing, though, right? Where like your brain stops remembering. Okay.
Yeah, it's called Memento.
Yeah. So anyway, what was I talking about? I forgot.
MaximumFun.org/join.
Yeah, you get tons of bonus content and the knowledge that you're making a difference and supporting media that you like. Only $5 a month to start, to join at the lowest level. And if you can do that at MaximumFun.org/join. That is MaximumFun.org/join. Thank you to Maximum Fun. Thank you to our producer. He goes by the name Howell Doughty on the internet. His actual name is Alex Smith.
Yeah.
He does a great job for us. Thank you, Alex, for all that you do. But that's it for the Flophouse. I've been Dan McCoy.
I'm Stuart Wellington.
I'm Elliot Kalin.
Bye. Problem is,
Do you need binoculars or opera
quickly,
glasses?
if I was at a normal distance from the thing.
Or binoculars, which is when it's a rabbit.
Yeah. Or bunsnoculars when it's
Actually,
tight butt.
yeah, it's a butt. You use them to look at butts. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Very Leisure Suit Larry of us.
Yep. That's what the patent said.
Maximum Fun
A worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
supported
directly
by you.